Welcome back, everybody. In the last episode, we built our foundation by creating our very first virtual machine, Application 1. In today's episode, we're going to take it a step further and install a Ubuntu server and turn our Application 1 server into a real production server. By the end of this video, we'll have a fully functioning Linux server that's ready for the projects that we're going to build throughout this series. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, guys, so the next few screens are all about configuring the basic installation. So most of these settings are pretty straightforward, but I'll point out a few that are important to understand. So here, we're just gonna go with English. If English isn't your preferred language, feel free to choose whichever language you're most comfortable with, but the rest of the series will work the exact same. So for the layout, I'm just gonna leave it at English. Again, the keyboard layout, that's simply your typing preference. So choose whatever matches your keyboard and then just continue. So I'm just gonna hit done. Okay, so for this screen, you'll notice that there's a minimized installation option. For this project, we're intentionally using the full Ubuntu server installation. And so keeping everyone on the same installation makes troubleshooting easier. So it ensures that we have all the tools that we need as we continue building our enterprise. So I'm just gonna leave this as Ubuntu server, hit done. This is the network configuration screen. So this is one of the most important screens in the installation. Ubuntu has automatically detected that our network adapter has received an IP address using DHCP. And so DHCP simply means that the network automatically assigned an IP address to this server. So later in the series, we'll work with the static IP address. But for now, DHCP keeps the installation simple and gets us connected to the network quickly. So I'm just gonna hit done. We're gonna skip this, just hit done, leave that blank. And for here, let's see, here we're just gonna leave this as a default. So we'll just hit done right here as well. And then we'll hit continue. Okay, so these next few screens deal with storage. The good news is because we're working with a brand new virtual machine, Ubuntu can handle almost everything for us. And so for this project, we'll let Ubuntu use the entire virtual hard disk. And you'll notice that the LVM is enabled. LVM, or Logical Volume Manager, gives Linux more flexibility when managing storage. So you don't need a master LVM today, but it's commonly used in Linux environments, and it's the option we'll use throughout this series. So we'll leave this enabled, the use an entire disk. We'll also leave this enabled, to set up this disk as an LVM group, and we're just gonna go to done. And then here, we're gonna click done as well and continue. Okay, so this next screen is where we give our server its identity. And so these settings determine how a server identifies itself on the network. So we'll go ahead and get started with this. So my name, I'm just gonna put my name. Server name, I'm gonna put BridgeOps1, application server 1. Username, I'll put BridgeOps1. Password, just choose your password. And we're gonna confirm your password right here. Okay, so make sure that when you're doing your server's name, it's also gonna serve as your host name. So just imagine if your company had like 50 servers all named Ubuntu, it would be kind of hard to troubleshoot that. So a descriptive host name immediately tells us what the server is and what it's used for. So throughout this series, every server we build will follow this same naming convention. So once you finish that, you can go and click done. Okay, for the upgrade to Ubuntu Pro, we're gonna go ahead and leave that as skip for now. And so we're gonna hit continue. And then here, I just want to pause right here. So before we continue, there's one option that I'm always going to recommend enabling. OpenSSH allows us to securely connect to the server from another computer. And so in real environments, administrators rarely sit in front of a server. They'll manage it remotely using SSH. So we'll take advantage of that later in the series. So let's just go ahead and install it now. So we're going to hit enter for that. Done. And then on this screen, we're going to skip everything and we're just going to hit done. So go to the bottom, hit done. So Ubuntu is going to take a second before it begins installing. And then once it installs, we'll go ahead and move on to the next thing. Okay, y'all. So the installation is complete. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to reboot now, hit enter. And while we're waiting for this, this is going to be the first time that we're booting application server 1. So all we're doing at this point right now is we're just going to wait for the login prompt, and it's going to prompt us to log in with the username and password that we created earlier. And once we get started there, we'll go ahead and move on. Okay, so here we're going to go ahead and hit enter. And now it's rebooting. Okay, y'all, and like I mentioned earlier, I accidentally fat fingered my username earlier, so I did not spell it correct. Um, so sorry about that. But we're gonna go ahead and log in with whatever username you used, and you should be able to get in. And there we go. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to validate the server. So before we call this installation complete, let's just verify that everything is working as expected. So whenever you build or configure a system, it's a good habit to validate your work before moving on. So we'll just run a few simple commands to confirm that application 1 is healthy. So the first one we're going to do is host name. So there we see the host name. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to type APP01. And so what I'm trying to see here is that it received an IP address. And since we're using DHCP, Ubuntu automatically requested one during startup. So let's just see here. Okay, everything looks good. And so what we want to do now, let's go ahead and try to ping Google. And that looks to be working. So a successful ping basically confirms that the application 1 server can reach the internet, which we'll need later on when installing software and downloading updates. So I just hit Control C just to stop that. But that's it for this episode. Application 1 server is installed, configured, and ready for the next phase of our enterprise. In the next episode, we'll install Apache, deploy our first internal website, and officially turn Application Server 1 into a production application server. So thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.